strangest creature in the dark. Long teeth and glowing eyes, I thought I'd met my own demise. That's when he started the war.
So this is a 55 millimeter, right?
Yeah, 55 millimeter intake manifold.
Ooh, look at that. Ooh, I want to hold it. Oh. So, do you know what percentage this is? Just what they say adds? I think we were talking like adds like 2%.
Yeah.
Curiously. But it does look a whole lot better than that plastic one.
So the big part here too is so that you can see the difference between the throttle body size. So for some reason they shrunk it down. Now at first I was a big proponent for the plastic because it smoothed it out. For years we've been trying to smooth out intake manifolds to make the air flow through it smooth, which don't get me wrong, this is smooth here, but they left a little bit of rough texture. And my thought is, I don't know for sure, I'm not an engineer, but my thought is a little bit of rough texture probably helps on the atomization of the fuel in the air so that it has a little bit of turbulence going through there, not to mention just the throat size being bigger. Talking to Harley at the show, they say they've learned a lot about the flow of the M8. They just flow so much differently with the different valves, different heads. And so, like I say, initially when I first saw the plastic, I was like, oh, who wants plastic? But it made sense as to, we've been for years taking metal ones and making them smooth, but then a metal one came out that was smooth. But I think what it really comes down to is just keeping that same bore size all the way through the intake manifold instead of it shrinking down. Right.
And this increased to,
they're advertising 2 to 4% power gain across the board, and I think their advertisement's right on because that's pretty much what we're seeing is about 2 to 4%. Now I think there's variables there depending on which cam you might be running or what kind of setup you've got, but I can tell you I've yet to put a single one of these on a motorcycle that somebody hasn't been able to feel the difference when it's all said and done. And for the amount of money that they cost,
what's that cost?
I think retail on that piece, as you get questions on this, something that will probably pop up is, hey, I want to do this, what all does it entail? What they've got to remember is there's still a couple of parts that are separate that they have to buy along with this. It's not mentioned anywhere in the text. It's not mentioned till you get into the instructions. Kind of keeps our life interesting back here. But there's a hardware kit for holding your injectors in place and then intake manifold seals. I would never want to put an intake manifold on and not replace the seals. On a 55, which is what we'd be looking at on yours, retail price is $189.95.
So $190
plus some seals and hardware kit. I mean, you know, roundabout, not counting some labor, you'd be into it for, you know, let's say around $250, somewhere around in that. And for a 2 to 4 horsepower gain and staying street legal, not voiding your warranty, and complementing the other things that you've already spent so much money on. For me, it was a no-brainer. I did it on my own bike. I didn't get paid to do it or anything like that. I just did it on my own accord, and I wouldn't take it back for anything.
And it was one of those things when you jumped on it and took off riding, you could feel the difference.
Right off the bat. So I did kind of like what we're talking about here. So I had a previous auto tune already done on the motorcycle, but it was like, let's go back, let's throw this on there because I want more. We always want more. Throw this on there, relearn it through the auto tune system with a wideband, get a new map put in it, and yeah, right off the bat, I could tell that I had a different motorcycle.
Well, and that makes, you know, it worthwhile to me. When you spend the money and you get on your bike and you're like, oh yeah.
You know, any kind of modifications we can do and not mess with that. And really, sometimes we concentrate on so much on what can be done that could void the warranty versus everything that we can do that will stay within factory warranty. We have tons of options available for making these motorcycles have as much power as you can possibly want.
So you're saying somebody at home that wanted to do this could do this themselves?
They could. Now, I'll say that it's a tight fit. I mean, you've got huge cylinder heads in there. There's not a whole lot of room to work. So I would recommend that you have it done at your local dealership. If your local dealership is like us, they don't charge a whole lot to put that thing on there. Have it slapped on by those guys. And then, because at the very end of this, you would really need to get it relearned as far as your ECM goes too. So
That's one thing about what we do here. Once we put it on a dyno, we can definitely see what's going on, you guys. It's fine tuning.
Yeah.
It's the fine tuning.
You know, you go all this way to do this, and then you save a few bucks by putting it on at home, but then you don't get the remapping, or you end up with an intake seal, or you fight those little bolts because they're hard to get to, and then really what was it worth for the fact that they don't charge that much to put it on anyway. But when it's all said and done, sometimes it can be counterintuitive to do it yourself if the end result is it has to come back to me for an intake leak or something along that line.
Yeah, and I'm not a mechanic. I'm not afraid to. I'm learning so much. This right here is pretty exciting.
Well, some of this stuff's pretty tough. Like, this can't go on without lifting the tank. So the tank has to be unhooked. You got to lift the tank. It's all doable. And it is a tight fit, so the guys use bit drivers to get into it. You can't get a socket and ratchet in there to actually undo your intake. You know, there's a little saying that guys used to use with me back 20 years ago. I had a couple old school techs that when I would ask them how you would do something, they would say, you got to hold your tongue just right. Well, there's something to be said for that. These guys, this is all they do for a living. This is all they know. This is what they do. And they could tell us all day long how to do it, but then them actually doing it and doing it on a repetitive basis puts him on a whole different class of us just having the info of how to do it.
And you plug the relay back in for the brakes there. Pull the carburetor. We don't even have a carburetor. So we pulled the fuel body off so we could work on the brake system. Because we were lacking in speed when we were braking. We believe it has something to do with the fuel module connected to the caliper. Something like that, don't you think?
Before I run your motorcycle, I'm going to do a baseline run on it so you can see exactly what your power output is right now. Then I will tune it, and then I'll give you a tune map on it so that you can see what kind of difference we made, where we made the change. I mean, don't get me wrong, if a person elects not to go this far and they just want to do a street tuner and throw pipes on, and that's fine, that's an option. But, you know, my thought is you go as far as putting pipes on, you go as far as putting a cam in like you did, stage 2 cam. Let's get the best map as possible in it.
All right, man, I'm excited. And I guess next step, let's grab the bike and take it up there and put it on the dyno and work it out.
So, yeah, next shot, show you the dyno and
Cue the music.
where the magic happens.
We've got the Road Glide in here and we're going to dyno it. We've done some upgrades from the beginning. It has a stage 2. We are going to list everything that is in our stage 2 as far as mufflers, the breather, the fuel pack. We'll list all that underneath here so you can see what we have. We also Brian just installed a 55mm intake as well. So we're going to put it on a dyno. And we're going to dyno this thing. We'll also throw up some information on what one might be stock, and then what we're going to end up with ours today. So, with that being said, let's dyno this bitch. This is one thing a man can't forget if you're going to dyno your bike.
Correct.
You know what? And
you would be surprised how many bikes come up here for a service or hey, I want to dyno tune my bike and they forget to bring this. Without this,
no good.
No good.
So you say a lot of people just throw it down in their bike somewhere and leave it.
Yeah. We tell everybody, throw it down in your saddlebag. It's not that big.
Yep.
It doesn't take up that much room.
Yeah.
But if you ever need it, you got it.
Yeah. I need to do that more. I about forgot it, to tell you the damn truth.
Yeah.
I had to go back in and get it.
Did you?
Yeah. So what are we doing now?
Getting everything hooked up. You're using the Screamin Eagle Pro Street Tuner, which is EPA compliant, won't void your factory warranty. Really simple and easy to use.
Yeah, that's one thing about what we've done on this bike. That's one thing I love about coming up here is because we make sure everything is within warranty specs.
Yes.
Yeah, so everything that you see that we do with this bike is under warranty. It will not void warranty at all, and I'm all about that, of course. And so, you know, a lot of people don't know that Denny's Harley Davidson has a dyno. This is really cool. I've been around them, but I've been around the old dynos where they actually, you know, you're at a rally and they're just whop, 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 whop. What this will do is actually put it for 10%, 20%, where you can really hone it in.
We can adjust the load on the dyno drum to recreate or simulate real world riding.
There's no way.
And we have total control over it. We don't have to worry about slowing down for vehicles or somebody pulling out in front of us or anything like that. It's, hey, we can set this up and resimulate if you have a drivability issue or
anybody that wants to come and get their bike dyno, they can set up an appointment and I'll throw it on here and check it out for them, won't you?
Yeah. See what numbers you can get.
So there it is, that Pro Street tuner. Let's bet. How many horses do you think we'll get out of this today?
I bet you'll be over 100 horse.
I'm hoping I'll be over 100. I know the torque is great on this.
You're running the torque cam, which you'll feel as soon as you snap the throttle, which I'm sure you have.
Dude, that's one thing about this bike, because our cam, we have the torque cam, which is, do you know the specs of that cam? I can't
not off the top of my head.
But we'll also put that in the video as well, what cam we're running. But they have a high end cam, so you
power cam,
yeah. And then you got the low end, which we call torque cam. And you know, it has different specs, I can't remember, but we have the torque one, and that is one thing. Steph and I are always loaded, and we're running hard, and we're pulling hills. Dude, the power is there. There's one thing I can say about these Milwaukee 8s, there is no lugging. You can just go into it, grab that throttle, roll back, whoop. I love it. I'm hooked on it. Yeah, so we're betting, you're saying over 100. I'm hoping we're going to get around 103, 104. Yeah. That's what I'm kind of speculating.
And we'll get as much out of this motor as we can today.
For sure. And then we'll do something else to it. I'm excited to see about that 55 millimeter intake, because that's something people can buy and put on.
Yes.
And it goes from that plastic stock one to the aluminum housing. ran the bike.
Yeah.
And you got it dialed in.
Yeah, we got everything dialed in, all the RPMs
and everything looked great. And then we let it set. We'll be honest, we let it set and cool down.
Yep.
And we talked and bullshitted a little bit. And then he went back in here and he did one last run. And what did we end up with?
You ended up with about 118 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
And 105 horse, thereabouts. So
we said 103,
yeah.
103, and then we hit 105.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Oh, my God.
You're going to feel it.
Oh, man, I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to do an iron butt. Let's go.
Yeah.
We did it. We did it. Guess the number. Guess the number.
106.
What do you think, bro? What do we get? What do you think?
103.
105.
105.
How much torque? Yeah.
118 torque and 105 horse.
That's real good.
Right?
Real good.
Yeah, man.
That's good.
Good day.
That's good stuff.
We're going to go down here now and get all of our numbers together. We got Brian back here, and he's going to talk about everything that they have bolted onto this bike to make it what it is.
We're going to do the run.
Like you said earlier, you mix, how did you say it? You put it in the cake?
So we had a whole combination of stuff.
What about cake, though? What did you say about cake?
So we had a lot of ingredients.
Ingredients.
And because you're out on the road and you're riding all the time, it took us a while to put that combination together, a fully warrantyable customization for you.
Said it.
We've now got it done. The culmination of this run was the finale to this combination.
Right.
And so the cake is baked. This is the dyno sheet. This is your dyno sheet for your motorcycle. But this is an example of what any customer that comes to Denny's Harley-Davidson, has their bike dynoed, will get. So it's going to show what the power was before and after. So on this particular map, your red is your horsepower and your torque for before and after. It's also denoted down here as far as what your power increase was. Now yours is a little bit off because we had previously played with it without all the combinations in place. So stock, which we will show you a stock map, will be quite a bit less than this. But what we wanted to kind of show you is this blue line is our final combination here. This is what you're leaving here with today. We got 105 horsepower, 105.12 to be exact, and then our torque at 118.10 torque. And that's going to be our blue line here. So that is going to be our finished product today at Denny's Harley-Davidson.
We installed a 55 millimeter intake on this, and that led us to putting the thing on the dyno, because we have dynoed this before, but it was on a run. You know, Steph and I are always on the go. And here at Denny's, a lot of people don't know that they have a dyno sitting up here at the top shop. What we found out is if you'll work with them a little bit, they'll work you right in. But sometimes our schedule and their schedule just doesn't work, and we're 1,000 miles apart. So this is the first time we've got to take the chance to really break it down. So we're gonna show you guys what we've done to this bike and what we've added today. And we're gonna list it, everything below down here where you can click on it. And you can get any of this that we're doing at Denny's Harley-Davidson, and they can put it on there for you. They'll take it up there to the dyno and they will turn it out for you. I'm really happy because today we have 105 horses that we pushed out of this. How much torque did we have on this bit?
About 118.
118 foot-pounds of torque, 105 horsepower. And 100% warranty legal. You're 100% right. It's been tough because you guys are always out riding. So it's one thing just to keep you guys serviced, rolling down the road, going to all the rallies you go to, but then also to kind of put all these combinations together. And today is the culmination of the final product. So, you know, it started out, this motorcycle had the stage 2 torque cam in it. It was coupled with the Harley-Davidson high flow air cleaner, the extreme cleaner, and the S&S mufflers on it, as well as the auto tune. Now, you've been riding around, took right out on your iron butt ride. We had a base map in it. We've struggled to kind of try to find the time to get it in here and do the final tune. And something to kind of talk about when I mentioned dyno, the dyno that we're doing with the auto tune system, one thing was we put the wideband O2 sensors into this that kind of helps us give the computer more information than the narrowband did before, gives us more options. But we throw it on the dyno not for what you might see like full out dyno drags or something like that. We put it on the dyno for exact learning. So I can run this bike through a 10% learn, 10% throttle. My throttle hand doesn't know 10%, but my computer does. So I can run it through the entire map and make this ECM learn as efficiently as possible. And all that culmination of all those things together, when we finally are done today, is at 105 horsepower, 118 foot-pounds of torque. I mean, a huge gain. And we're going to be showing the dyno map at the very end. You guys will see this is not just power gains where maybe you're not riding it.
Right.
Obviously, you went with a bike that had the torque cam in it because of how you ride, because you're loaded with luggage and equipment and the types of riding you're doing. The torque cam was the best combination for you, and the dyno map also shows you that. You're getting a power gain from bottom to the absolute top on this motorcycle. So you're gonna feel it from the second you take off to the minute you do finally just let loose on.
And let's just be honest, we always want more. We talk about this all the time. As you get on a new bike, it runs great. M8s are awesome. But after you get used to it, you always want a little bit more. And this is stuff that you can bolt on, that we're talking about right now, that you can bolt on. Like I said, we'll list it down here in the description. And like Brian was saying, we'll show you the spec. Is there anything that we could do more to it to bolt on?
The theme of this whole kind of thing is what can we do to the motorcycle, make the most out of it, but not put our factory warranty in jeopardy, because that's important.
Absolutely.
And so we are nearing the end of our stage 2 build to keep you within factory warranty. And when I say factory warranty, Harley views this motorcycle as this is how it came out from the factory. If there was a problem with it, whether you're at Denny's Harley Davidson, of course, if you were to have a problem, I would want to take care of it, but you guys are often all over the place. Wherever you go, you would walk in there and it would just be like this bike was built like this from the factory. So with that being said, for those particular parameters, we're nearing the end of that stage 2. We've put all the ingredients together. We've given you the bang for the buck that you're going to get out of a stage 2. Now, would a horsepower cam give you more horsepower? Yeah, it would probably give you more horsepower, but that doesn't really match you guys' riding style.
Yeah, that's where you got to decide there. That's one thing you have to decide on, torque
Yeah.
or the high end.
Well, and then the warranty thing again. I keep coming back to that, and I hate to harp on that, but I have done warranty up here for 20 years, and I know how important warranty is, and you don't think too much about it until you run into a situation where you need it. So you can be riding all around the country and have that peace of mind in the back of your head that, yeah, I'm fully covered. I didn't do that, whatever it might be that could possibly have put my warranty in jeopardy. I've made the most of what's available, which is quite a lot, to make as much power with my motorcycle and be fully covered.